Oh, there we go.
Welcome,
Hello.
welcome. Hello, hello.
Okay. Well, welcome everybody. Hello and welcome. My name is Robin Rubin, and I am with the Phyllis and Harvey Sandler. Whoops, let's get this straight here. One second. School of Social Work at Florida Atlantic University. Before we get started, let me briefly introduce the Robin Rubin Center for Happiness and Life Enhancement for those who may be joining us for the first time. This center is housed within the Sandler School of Social Work within the College of Social Work and Criminal Justice here at FAU. The center offers weekly wellness programming free of charge to students, faculty, staff, friends, and family, and everybody's welcomed and encouraged to attend all of our events. It's never been more important to nurture our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual wellness. We are firm believers that it all starts with giving yourself permission to show up and step forward. So, for any first timers in the audience today, welcome. And to everyone here, thank you for showing up for yourself today. So, David, Dr. David, what a complete, this is an incomplete sentence, but that's okay. He was a psychotherapist and clinical educator for several years. Dr. Wohlsifer is an LCSW in Florida, New York, Pennsylvania, and Florida, and a certified sex therapist and has over 30 years' experience in clinical practice. His areas of clinical practice include cognitive behavioral therapy, play therapy, couples, family therapy, substance abuse, and sex therapy. He has published in the areas of family and couples therapy as well as sex therapy and multiculturally competent practice. At FAU, he teaches CBT, social work, human sexuality, play therapy, as well as some of the required core courses and the LCSW examination prep course. Very important. Prior to coming to FAU, Dr. Wohlsifer has awarded an Excellence in Teaching Award for part-time faculty from the University of Pennsylvania School of Social Policy and Practice. He is a diplomat of the Academy of Cognitive Therapy, certified sex therapist, and member of the American Association of Sexuality Educators, Counselors, and Therapists. He's a member of NASW and the American Family Therapy Academy. Dr. Wohlsifer, thank you for being here. Please take it away.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. And hello to some alums I see back in the room. Good to see you back. And some current students I see here too, who I met recently. So welcome, good evening, and I guess we're here to talk about sleep. So I'm going to open up my PowerPoint. Hopefully I won't mess it up. And I'll start us up. And every now and then I'll stop for some questions. I wanted to really include a cute picture of a kitten, because why not? Can you all see the picture? So I've been a therapist 34 years, and for a long time, I was at the Center for Cognitive Therapy at the University of Pennsylvania School of Medicine, which is where I did my postdoctoral work. And I was running a program for trauma survivors. And a big part of dealing with trauma is trouble sleeping. And that's how I came to work with sleep disorders, was from doing originally trauma work where people had trouble sleeping and realized that so much of their wellness was challenged by the inability to sleep. So that's how my work began, and a lot of my work's been embedded in trauma-focused therapy, including EMDR. So here's a sleep fun fact. You can go longer without food and water than you can without sleep. Is that true or false? Tell me in the chat. Which one do you think? True or false? Nobody's responding to the chat.
True.
It's true. Yeah, you can actually go without food and water longer than you can without sleep. Eventually, you'll start to hallucinate and you can even die. So, sleep, how long can you go? The longest record of time without sleep is approximately 264 hours or over 11 consecutive days. It's unclear how long humans can survive without sleep, but it doesn't take long before the effects of sleep deprivation start to show. And maybe if you've had trouble sleeping, you've been driving, you think you see things you don't see, you actually can become sort of psychotic if you don't sleep, and definitely miserable and unhealthy. After only 3 or 4 nights without sleep, you start to hallucinate, and prolonged sleep deprivation can lead to cognitive impairment, irritability, delusions, paranoia, and psychosis. Literally, just before this talk today, I was teaching about Alzheimer's and dementia in my psychopathology class. And one of the biggest ways to prevent Alzheimer's, even if you have the genes for it, is to get good sleep hygiene because your brain literally cleans. It cleans out the space between the cells while you're sleeping. So sleep is essential. Although dying from sleep deprivation is extremely rare, it can happen. Some common sleep problems: snoring, apnea, restless leg syndrome, excessive daytime sleepiness, narcolepsy, and insomnia. So when I do sleep work in my practice, I automatically send somebody first, usually to a psychiatrist who specializes in sleep or a pulmonologist to make sure they're medically cleared. Insomnia is the difficulty getting to sleep or staying asleep for long enough to feel refreshed the next morning. And I bet all of you know what that feels like. Some statistics among older adults, among adults older than 18, 13.5% reported feeling tired or exhausted most days. More than a third of Americans report getting less than 7 hours of sleep in a 24-hour period. So just think of yourselves in this. About 30% of adults have symptoms of insomnia, with 10% having insomnia that impacts their daily activities. And sleep apnea impacts 9% to 80% of the general population. You're going to see that going down with the GLPs becoming more popular. Because one of the things the GLPs are starting to treat is sleep apnea. As people are losing weight, you're noticing that they're sleeping better in less episodes of apnea. So take a look at this graph. See, we're at 37.4% here in Florida. Here's a state-by-state look at the percentage of adults who reported sleeping on average less than 7 hours in a 24-hour period. 37.4%. That's really high, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, the inability to fall asleep. Somebody said this once to me, Dr. David, no matter what happens when I lay down to go to sleep, the committee goes into session. Sometimes they even break into subcommittees. Can anyone relate? Yeah. There's different types of how insomnia can show up for us. There's middle night awakening. You go to bed, you fall asleep without a problem, and then you wake up in the middle of the night, maybe to use the bathroom, but then you can't fall back asleep the rest of the night. One woman once said to me, she said, I fall asleep on the couch watching TV every night with no problem. It's delightful. I sleep great during that time. After a few hours, I get back in bed and I join my wife in bed and I can't fall back asleep the rest of the night. I think to myself, the upcoming day will be ruined. I'll be tired all day. We've all had those thoughts, right? There's early morning awakening when you wake up with the roosters, I guess. So when you fall asleep fine, you stay asleep for a while, but you wake up much earlier than you wanted to, and this leaves you tired the whole next day and you're not feeling refreshed. And we've all been there, haven't we? Oh, I can't read the slide very well the way it came out. I apologize. Sleep is linked to nearly every bodily function, from how well our bodies fight infection to how well we think. So getting a good night's sleep is really important. And here's a great quote. I think that every hour of sleep as putting money into a sleep savings account. Yale pulmonology and sleep specialist says, if your brain sleep savings account is depleted or overdrawn, it will negatively affect your brain and how you interact with the world. You actually do have a sleep savings account. That's why you can make up for sleep on the weekends sometimes. Michaela, good to see you join us. You were in the class I was just teaching about sleep and Alzheimer's. Nice to see you. So how does sleep impact health? Sleep loss is less than 7 hours a night and may have wide-ranging effects on the cardiovascular, endocrine, immune, and nervous system, including the following. It increases obesity in adults and children, diabetes and impaired glucose tolerance, cardiovascular disease and hypertension, high blood pressure, anxiety symptoms, depressed mood, alcohol use, memory impairment. Can you think of anything else? Anyone? I mentioned Alzheimer's,
Cranky.
right? And that could lead to relationship problems and parenting problems and work problems.
How about just like not being able to, I guess memory impairment. You can't think clearly. It's like you
But
just,
I think that's actually different. There's memory impairment and then there's the inability to concentrate.
yeah.
I mean, how many times have you sit down? I know when I was a student or when I'm teaching, I go to read something that's a little dense and I've got the highlighter in my hand and I start highlighting everything because nothing is making sense to me when you're too tired. And we're seeing more and more in the literature that sleep is probably one of the biggest components of wellness and health, more than we actually ever thought. And now that we're all wearing all Whoops and what the Aura Ring and Apple Watches, we're able to track our sleep even more, which I find kind of interesting. It's not always clear what triggers insomnia, but it's often associated with the following: stress and anxiety, a poor sleeping environment like a cold and uncomfortable bed, or a bedroom that's too light, noisy, hot, or cold. You need bedrooms to be dark and you need them to be a little cooler to sleep well. Style factors: jet lag, shift work, drinking alcohol or caffeine before going to bed, or eating too much before going to bed, which can cause heartburn, will impact sleep. Mental health conditions such as PTSD, depression, or anxiety. Physical health conditions like heart problems or other sleep disorders. Long-term pain, I would say autoimmune disorders, particularly those that cause pain like fibromyalgia, will cause sleep disturbances. Hormonal changes. Particularly, you'll hear a lot of women say sleep changes after menopause. You'll get that one a lot. I said here menopause and postmenopause, and certain medicines as well as recreational drugs will impact your sleep. Now let's talk about technology and sleep. Like lights, think of your brain as either on or off. If I bring my phone into my bedroom, I will not sleep well that night because I will start Googling, can you buy quinoa on Mars? I will Google nonsense and I do. You can't,
You can.
but you can't. Um, Anyone else get in that rabbit hole of Googling nonsense? What happened to that person I knew in 10th grade? Like, and then the next thing you know, it's an hour and your brain is actually turned on. It's awake like a light. So no screens in your room. For optimal sleep hygiene, avoid technology such as cell phones, computers, and laptops, iPads, television, and reading at least 30 minutes before bed. And people will often tell me, I love to read in bed, but technically it's actually bad for your sleep hygiene. And Ferdinand, I appreciate you saying that I'm right. I'm just checking the chat. I'm going to pause. Any
Um,
question? Go ahead, please.
no, I actually do agree with you about the searching up like any nonsense before bed
Nonsense.
because yeah, because usually like what I do, like I mean I usually work out, so
Hmm.
after the gym at 11, I'll go home, shower, and I'll like eat like a little bit late. So I
Yeah,
was
it's
like,
good food.
Googling like okay, what should I eat before bed? And as I'm like Googling, it's like, I'm watching videos,
Uh-huh.
cause I usually like eat before bed and I don't eat too close to bed.
Hmm.
So it's like I'll probably like give like a 2 hour like window gap before I go to sleep. And then as I'm going to sleep, I do search up more about like working out. So this is nonsense.
Nonsense. We all have done it.
Yeah.
Buy things on Amazon. Costco had a sale the other day. I'm buying things. My advice, leave your phone in another room than your bedroom. Buy an old-fashioned alarm clock. You can order one on Amazon right now. It'll be here by 8 o'clock.
Um, no, yeah, you're right. That should makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. I was taught in
Mhm.
my training programs that beds are for sleeping and maybe a little bit of romance, but that's not part of this talk, but literally nothing else. Only those two things, sleep and sex.
I actually one more thing for me. I actually got out of the
Please.
habit of reading at night because as I'm reading a book, I definitely want to like read more about what's
It's
happening.
stimulating, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's very
entertaining and
stimulating.
stimulating and it keeps you up. And I find I actually dream of the characters. Crystal, you can relate to that? Good to see you, Crystal. You can relate to that? Unmute. But you start dreaming of
Oh,
the
I
characters.
mean,
Yeah, it's crazy when when you were just talking about reading before bed, or reading in bed, I do that. I read before I go to bed. It helps me like prepare to sleep. But to your point you just said, I do find myself like thinking about the characters or
Oh yeah.
even like dreaming about what I just read. Yeah, and I didn't really think about how
Mhm.
reading before bed could also like affect
Oh yeah.
sleep too.
David, I have a question. Do
Please.
you know anything about those glasses, like the yellow,
The blue light glasses, they're supposed to help with technology like what we're doing right now. They're
yeah.
supposed to help. I was seeing a young man today who doesn't wear glasses and he had them on so that his brain is less stimulated. He's on the autistic spectrum and he finds it soothing.
Yeah. It's funny because I have them and I feel like I usually put them on like 2 hours before I go to bed. So I watch TV in them and, whatever else I'm doing. And I do feel like when I put them on, my eyes relax.
There probably is a soothing. I've never used them, but if they're working for you,
Yeah.
Melissa, I like the cat behind you.
There's a question in the chat from
Yeah, let me hit
Miriam
it.
Campo. I fall asleep right away, but wake up at 3 a.m. thinking of all the things I have to do at work the following day. Any suggestions as to how to manage that?
I would give you two suggestions. One, try a little relaxation exercise. And if I was seeing you in my practice, I would tell you write down about 10 things you have to do before bed and literally put them in the freezer and tell yourself when you wake up to think of them. These are in the freezer. I can't think of them now. Miriam, unmute with me for a moment. Does it make sense what I'm saying?
Yes, it does. Kind of funny to do that.
It's so weird. Can I tell you a funny story?
Absolutely.
I was working with somebody who was ending a relationship, and she came in, and his name was Tom. And she said, I can't stop thinking of Tom. We broke up. I can't stop thinking. I wake up all night thinking of Tom. I said, I want you to write Tom. I want you to worry about him for 10 minutes a day, and then I want you to put him in the freezer. She came in the next week and she said, well, Tom's in the freezer. I forgot I gave her the advice. I said, oh my God, she killed him. I had to remind myself of my advice. I thought she murdered her boyfriend. It sounds really interesting or like kind of silly. Try it. Because what
I
it
will
does is it gives your mind an image of these things being out of the way.
I will definitely try that.
Yeah, it's a little silly. My email's probably available. Let me know how it goes.
I will. Thank you.
Sometimes that little kind of device can actually help us get something out of our mind and make us actually laugh about it, which calms us down.
I like it. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. So seeking solutions to sleep concerns should begin with a physician, like I said, who specializes in sleep medicine. And being where we are, there's a lot of them. And here's some techniques to help sleep. Keep a sleep diary, and your watch or your Whoop might keep this for you. The underlying idea is that self-monitoring sleep can be therapeutic. Increasing your awareness of sleep patterns actually contributes to the alleviation of subjective sleep concerns through reduction of sleep-related anxiety. When there is anxiety, we always magnify what the problem is. Am I right about that? If I'm worried about sleeping, I'm going to make it a bigger problem. I'm going to magnify it. So keeping a diary actually helps us reinforce where we're sleeping well and often helps minimize something a little bit. There's the stimulus and control and sleep restriction technique. Go to bed only when you're tired. Limit activities in bed to sleep and sex. Get up the same time every morning. And when sleep does not occur within 10 minutes, get up and go into another room. One of the worst things you can do for your sleep hygiene is stay in bed past 10 minutes when you can't sleep, because then you start that churning. I usually advise people get up, go into the living room, and do something boring. Do something very, very dull. Glance at like a magazine for a few moments where you're not reading, but maybe looking at pictures. Watch an infomercial. That's ridiculous. Do something that bores your brain. That's not going to invite you in. Don't go turn on the best series of Netflix and do what I do. I'm like, okay, when it comes up and it says next episode playing in 10 seconds, I always stay and watch it. So don't get caught up in that doom cycle of keeping watching the next series, but don't stay in bed more than 10 minutes. There's the paradoxical intention. Stay awake. Get the patient to stay awake when they get into bed. The premise is you actually try to stay awake rather than fall asleep. It causes you to relax. So let me try to teach that again. You go to bed and you tell yourself, I'm going to stay awake. And rather than fighting staying awake, you accept it. It actually causes a relaxation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like a baby.
Like verberizing almost?
Like babies do that. They fight the sleep and then they end up sleeping.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now there's CBTI, cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia. If you feel you'd like to pursue psychotherapy to treat your concerns, consider finding a therapist who's been trained in CBTI, cognitive therapy for insomnia, which focuses on exploring the connection between the way we think, how we cope, and how we sleep. The therapist will help you identify thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that are contributing to your trouble sleeping. By the way, is my audibility okay? Because I sat back and I want to make sure I'm still good.
Yes, you're
They'll
good.
give you cognitive interventions. They'll help you restructure your thoughts to change inaccurate or unhelpful thoughts about sleep. They'll give you behavioral interventions. Where they like the stimulus control before bed, the sleep restriction and compression, incorporating relaxation techniques to help establish healthy sleep habits. And they'll provide you education about thoughts, feelings, and behaviors and how they relate to sleep. I'd also encourage possibly another type of therapy, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. EMDR can improve sleep by calming the nervous system through processing unresolved stress and emotional experiences that might keep your brain up at night. So some suggestions. I'm going to pause for any questions and answers. And to do that, I'll actually open the... And thank you for joining us tonight. It's good to see everybody. Do you want to go to everybody's screen, Danielle?
Yes.
Okay. Melissa asked, will they get a copy of the slideshow?
If you want to share it.
Yeah, hold on. Want me to put it in the chat?
Yeah, that would be great. I'm taking notes here, but then I'm like,
Don't make
We're
yourself
also
crazy.
recording this too, and I'll upload it to our YouTube channel. It's the college's YouTube channel.
oh,
I'm
awesome.
noticing that there's no way for me to upload into the chat.
So maybe the video would be the best thing.
But if you want to email me afterwards, and then I want to address the question, here's my email and I can send it to you.
Well, someone in the chat said when I can't sleep, I put on a white noise machine.
White noise machines are great to help
Mhm.
sleep. Also, if you have an Alexa in your bedroom, I like to play Storms when I can't sleep because I like the sound of the rain. And it stops me from thinking. There's another technique I like to tell people that bores your brain. Picture a house you used to live in that doesn't stimulate you in any negative kind of way and walk through each room. So I'll think of the house I grew up in and I'll start at the front door and I'll end at the back door and I'll walk through each room and it's kind of dull. And it sort of puts me to sleep and stops me from thinking thoughts that are going to cause me stress.
Another idea also that I was once taught was to do a body scan, just
Oh, body
study.
scans are great.
Yeah.
Describe it.
So you lay there and you just calmly I start at my toes and I
Mhm.
start to think of my toes. Then I close my eyes and I start to think of my feet. Then I move up to my ankles and my calves. And I just go through every single body part. And usually
Mhm.
you don't make it through all the body
Yeah.
parts. because-
And you could actually tell them to go to sleep, like feet, go to sleep, like you're
Yeah,
turning off the lights.
yeah. Exactly. As far as the noise machine goes, it's interesting because with children today, the younger generation is all about the sleep machines. And like when my kids are here, there's 5 of them upstairs. There's one in the room, there's one outside the room, there's one, and sometimes they're like, shh. I'm like, how does anybody sleep with that? I don't know. It's
Because
like,
the noise hits a frequency that I think actually relaxes.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so. And it's like Pavlov's dogs also, I think,
Mhm.
when they hear the noise machine, they know it's sleep time.
It's absolutely Pavlovian.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have them for all my grandkids outside every bedroom here.
Yeah. Also, so they don't hear the rest of the noise in the house.
Mhm.
But I think that what ends up happening is you kind of focus on the noise and
And it's boring, and it puts you to
Mhm.
sleep.
Mhm.
yeah, and that puts you to sleep. I think having the television on is probably one of the worst things you can do.
A woman once said to me, she said, I watch the TV and then it watches me. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
But it's, yeah, really unhealthy because you're bringing in the light again and the stimulation, and you might catch something, that
Michaela,
interests
go
you.
ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Michaela.
Hi,
Hi, Michaela. I'm glad you joined.
hi. I'm glad I did join too. I really was interested in this because I feel like, at least especially for this semester, I think I've throughout my entire years of or semesters being in the master's program, I feel like my sleep has been mainly
Mhm.
affected this semester because I'm always working and
Sure.
I'm always thinking, and I don't know how to really cut that off, which sometimes it gets me like where I'm laying in bed and I'm just thinking of all the things that I have to do. And
Mhm.
sometimes that gets to a point where I pull an all-nighter or I only
Oh,
get
that's
like
really bad for you.
3 4 hours of sleep. And I want to learn like how to try to make sure I shut off, I'm not shut off, but set a cutoff time like how you were stating earlier, of maybe just waiting 30 minutes until you're ready to go to
Mhm.
bed, of trying to just step away from whatever you're doing. And if it's hard, then just go to another area. So
Mhm.
um, I guess because I feel like at least for this semester, I think it's kind of gotten a little out of control. So I wanted to know if maybe if you're allowed to, if you can provide like a beginner
Here's what I
recommendation.
want you to do. I want you to start, as one of the people who's assigning you all this work, I feel bad because she's in my psychopathology class. But are you working full time too, or are you in field too?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
part
So
of like
you don't have time. You're busy all day, then you
yeah.
come home and you only have a certain amount of time to do your work. And Melissa, you're a graduate student too, right? Am I right?
I'm just about to finish up my bachelor's and then I'll do
Okay.
the math.
Yeah, we met
Yeah,
recently.
we did.
Yeah, at
You
Destination Hope.
remember?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, at Destination Hope.
Good
Yeah,
memory. Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So what I would think people from grad school need, you if time is limited, time is limited. I want you to start every night giving yourself 5 minutes one night, then 10 minutes the next night of space between when you work and when you go to bed.
Okay.
You can't do all the kind of work you have to do and then go to bed. You just
Mm-hmm.
can't. We have
Mm-hmm.
a deadline. We have to have our syllabi up for next semester by April 15th. And I have a rule that I do everything 2 weeks early. So I got the one night I stayed up really late, getting everything done, and I could not sleep because I literally went from my desk to my bed, and that's not going to work. So tonight I want you to take 5 minutes. Don't go to bed, but don't do any work. And tomorrow, 10 minutes until you get to
Okay.
an hour. Okay? Does it make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, yeah.
You're not going to
Thank you.
tonight. I can't take you from right to an hour. Let it taper
Mm.
down. Sound good?
Yeah, I think what's part that's a great recommendation. I think what's also affecting it too is I'm always on my phone, so I wanted, and part of that, I think what I'm going to also try to do is just stay away from technology, and I
Put it
think
in
that will,
another room.
yeah, I guess,
Technology is tempting, and phones, we use them now for alarm clocks, which means they're in our beds
yeah,
next to us, next to our heads. I go get a regular alarm clock.
thank you.
I
Go on
never
Amazon now. It'll be here tonight.
I never heard of the idea of if it's taking you more than 10 minutes to fall, because there are definitely nights that it takes me more than 10 minutes to fall asleep. And sometimes I'll look up and it's been like
Oh, it's awful, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
an
And
Mm-hmm.
then
hour.
what's your next automatic thought? When you see it's been an hour, what's your next automatic
I
thought?
can't, I'm like, oh my God. Like,
Tomorrow will be ruined. I'm going to be so tired. I can't believe this is happening. I'm going to feel so
Yep.
sick. I've got 4 classes to teach. I'm going to get nothing done.
yeah.
That's when I get on my phone.
And
Yeah.
then you get on your phone and it gets worse, right?
Yeah.
So what 10 minutes, I want you to get up and I want you to do something. Do
Okay.
dishes, do anything boring.
Oh, okay.
Do something boring.
And then get
Sit
back into
still in
bed.
the living room quietly for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Dr.
Because,
David, I'm not sleeping if there's dishes in my sink.
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
Yeah,
I
I
was
agree.
thinking that. I did that before. So that's
Right?
I'm totally
another
okay with
activity. I
dishes in the
need a
sink.
different activity. And my
Maybe it's something.
husband is completely asleep in 3 seconds.
Oh, do you
And
get mad at him?
first of all, if we lay down in bed, if he falls asleep, it's less than a minute. Sometimes I have to say, no, no, this is just not okay. And I'll push him. I'll
So
go,
you can stay
there's
married. You
no
got
way. There's no way you could
I
be.
did a sleep study recently, and I was somebody Ferdinand wrote all dishes have to be done
Yes.
before I touch my bed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was 1 minute and 36 seconds till I fell asleep.
I-
Wow.
And I'm married to somebody who has the worst sleep hygiene in the world, and they can't sleep at all.
I'd be
Yeah.
jealous.
Really annoying. Really annoying.
But so seriously, do something, maybe not dishes. Sit in the living room. Just sit there quietly for a few minutes. Just get out of the bed, though. Get out of the bed.
Okay, I'm gonna try that.
Try it, and then let me know. I talk to you
I
frequently. Let me
will.
know how it goes.
I
I
Because you
will.
know
have
what
a
it's like when you sit
question.
there. Yeah.
I have a question about blackout curtains. So I read somewhere that like blackout curtains aren't good for you because it messes with your circadian rhythm. Like you should be waking up to the sun, but also my room is like I don't have curtains. My blinds are pretty good, but I've been thinking about getting curtains. But now I'm like maybe I shouldn't get blackout curtains.
I don't know much about blackout curtains. Is the room dark enough to be comfortable for you?
Not really.
You need
Because
to have.
my apartment, like it's on it, I'm the one facing the street.
Are you getting street light?
Yeah,
You on the first floor or second floor?
first floor.
Yeah. So are you getting headlights from the parking lot?
Mm-hmm.
Do you need more curtains?
Yeah.
Or a sleep mask? A mask.
Yeah.
Because the light's going to stimulate you and wake you up.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening with me.
I'm looking at the blinds I have in my house, and when they go down, they're completely dark. You know? It might not be
Mm.
blackout, but no light gets through.
No, it's like the regular like vertical blinds.
They're probably not enough.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Thank you.
But get ones that look nice.
Yes, yeah.
Any other questions for Dr. David?
I
I
hope I'm making sense. It's nice seeing everybody.
Absolutely.
I had
Hey,
a quick
Crystal.
question. Hi, nice to
It doesn't
see
have to be quick.
you.
Nice to see you too. I see you on Facebook.
Yes.
Oh.
I wanted to circle back to like the 10-minute, like getting
Mhm.
out of your room and going to another room. How long? Because I've never thought about that. I have terrible, I think I've always had terrible sleep hygiene and just habits. Um, and so I'm going to try that, like leaving my room if I can't sleep for longer than 10 minutes. But how long do you do that? Because I
So you're
could see
tired?
myself like
Mix the
just,
other one with it until you're tired.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Can I explain? Because I told you I do it.
Yeah.
So, and I can explain how it feels, maybe like not how long I do it. So, I do this all the time. I've been doing it for 2 years now. Since I've met Dr. David, I slept on my couch last night. That's what I do. I do it like, so if I wake up in the middle of the night, because I don't have a problem falling asleep, if I wake up and I feel like I can't fall back to sleep, that point where I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm not falling asleep, like old me would stay in my bed and try to force myself to go to sleep. That's when I get up. Like when I get to the point where I'm like, I'm gonna try to force myself to go back to sleep, you're not. Yeah, it doesn't work for me. So that's when I get up and like go to my couch, or sometimes I move to like the other end of the bed. Like I'll put my head on the opposite end
Mm-hmm.
with like a new pillow, like another pillow I wasn't using. Usually I'm out like light.
Interesting. Okay, I'm
Mhm.
gonna try that because
Tired.
I've gotten to a place where like I'll stay in my bed. I'm so like I'll fall asleep on my couch, like watching TV or whatever, and
Mhm.
then I'll wake up and then I'll go into my room and then I'll get in bed or whatever, you know. But I also am one if I wake up at like 3 a.m. because I think about, oh, I didn't send this email, and
You're
then
solving the world's problems.
yes. Then
Mhm.
I'm up and I'm up for a good, whatever. Doing something boring, like cleaning is a stress reliever for me. So
Same.
I like, just have to
Same.
come literally sit in the darkness in
Yeah.
my living room. And I don't even think I could put my phone here because that I feel would be the first thing I would go look for. Like, oh, let me
Oh,
go scroll,
it'll wake
you
you up.
know? Yeah.
Sometimes
So,
even looking at the time, I've heard this, Dr. David, looking at the time in the middle of the night when you wake up, like don't
It's
do that.
bad because it
That's
stresses
bad.
you. Oh my God,
Uh-huh.
it's 3:40. And then you
Yep.
always sleep great that last
I
half
try
hour.
not to even look at the time. Like when I use the bathroom at night, if I need my flashlight for my phone, I try to like turn the phone upside down. 'Cause I'm
Because
like,
it
I don't even
creates
want to know what
stress.
time it
It
is.
creates stress. But don't do anything too intense. Just sit out in the living room for a few minutes. Give yourself, because you get caught in that cycle of, oh my God, I can't sleep. Then the bed feels uncomfortable. Now I'm warm. Now I'm cold. I can't get it right.
right. And that's why I
Get
was
up and
wondering,
move.
like, how long, what is this dance of like
Till you're
back and
tired.
forth
Till you're
that you
tired.
do? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
I'm definitely gonna try it.
Mhm. But also, don't be afraid, for all of you, don't be afraid to see a sleep doctor and get a workup first. It won't hurt you to get a medical workup just to make sure there's nothing else that's keeping you up at night that could solve quickly.
I feel like sleep is as important as how we fuel our bodies. What we
Absolutely.
there's so much talk about what we eat and which is so very important. But sleep is like such a big thing. I mean, it's just
It's an
it
awful,
why? Yeah,
it's an awful feeling to feel tired the whole day, isn't
it,
it?
it is.
Hmm.
It really impacts the quality of your life when you're just so tired the next day.
Yeah. I think Danielle, you're going to put a survey in the chat.
Yep.
Any other questions I can answer? Thank you all for having me. It's always a pleasure to do these talks. I hope it was okay.
Yes, please
Thank
take
you.
a
It was
minute
great.
to take the
So
survey.
yeah, please take
It's
a minute
very
to do
short.
the survey. It's super short. Um, I want to thank Dr. David for being with us today and encouraging us to recharge our wellness with healthy sleep hygiene. And yeah, it's really important, like what we do before we go to bed, how and I think a routine also is super helpful. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Routines are and trying to stay consistent with the same times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so I think we have another wellness event on, the date?
Hold on. No. Actually, this is the last one for the fiscal year. So, usually we come back in August, but we're actually trying a new beach yoga series this summer. So,
Are we
you
really?
guys should, yeah, first
Oh, I want
time,
to
first time.
come. Who's
Yes,
teaching?
absolutely. So, I have all your emails and I'll add you to our contact list. Everyone should be already on it, but please be on
Come
the lookout for
beach,
that.
yes, beach yoga.
Come to
How
beach yoga.
fun will that
Yes.
be? Yeah.
Yes. And then we'll resume actual workshops like this in the fall.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks everyone for coming.
register on our
Thank
website,
you.
make sure you get our emails. Have a wonderful evening, and thanks everybody for being here.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you.
you so much.
you.
Thank you.
All
Bye-bye.
right, good seeing y'all.
You
Bye.
too.
Bye-bye. Did the recording stop?
Let me stop it.